We do not want you to miss it. A week from today is the WFMY News 2 Holiday Blood Drive. This is one of those things that we have been doing for decades, but of course we could not do it without all of you who actually come to give that blood. We are back with Wes Haynes from Red Cross, American Red Cross, answering your questions about all kinds of blood donation. So this person's asking, can people with autoimmune diseases donate?
So I'm always going to give a very similar answer on this. If you have any specific travel history, medications, or medical history, I would suggest calling 1-800-RED Cross. It's not usually a simple yes or no. There's a lot of specific details that you need to do. So 1-800-RED Cross, talk to one of our professionals, and they can walk you through figuring out whether or not you should donate.
All right. This person says, is there another way to get your blood type? I had inquired to my primary doctor and they couldn't do it. Why is that?
So I do know that most primary family doctors will charge you to do that. The only way that I know of other than that is to come out and donate. And like I said, about 3 days, it'll pop up in the app and tell you your blood type.
That is how I found out my blood type. I donated for the first time at a holiday blood drive and figured out what I was. All right, so people always have a hard time finding my vein, this person says. How can I know that a very skilled person will be there to assist me?
So there's a couple things you can do. One, make sure you drink a lot of fluids before you come out. Be very well hydrated. That's actually going to help them try to find that vein. If you tell them in the health history when they go through some of the questions, say, "Hey, I've donated a few times. I know I'm a hard stick. I know it's a challenge." If you let them know then, they can try to set you up. Obviously, there's no guarantees that it's going to work, but if you let them know in the health history, they'll probably try to find the right person to do it for you.
Yeah, there's always several ringers there that are like, yep, call that person. They're the ones that have the touch, right? All right, this person's asking, can you donate plasma at the holiday blood drive?
So at the holiday blood drive, no. What you're going to do is you're going to do mostly a whole blood donation, and then that whole blood will get divided up in most cases to red blood cells, platelets, and plasma. So your plasma will still be taken, but we don't do straight plasma donations on a mobile site.
All right, and just kind of a refresher, when you do donate a pint of blood, like how much, where does that all go? What is it used for? That kind of thing.
Absolutely. So in general, there's a couple other cases that may happen, but in general, you're going to donate a pint of blood. That blood's going to be going back to our depot. It's going to get filtered into 3 different, like I just said, red blood cells, plasma, and platelets. Plasma can go to a lot of different things, especially when you lose some fluids. Red blood cells go to a lot of different things, particularly people with diseases because they need to replace their blood or they lost a lot of blood. Platelets are a very special thing. That's the part of key component for clotting, and especially like cancer patients who are going through the treatment need a lot of platelets. And the thing about platelets, they only got about a 5-day shelf life. So if you think about from the day of your donation, more than likely they're going into a recipient within 5 days.
Wow, that's pretty amazing to think about that 5 days later, somebody else is getting the help directly from you. And this is kind of a follow-up since you said cancer patients. They said, can you give blood if you're on blood thinners or had cancer surgery?
So blood thinners is generally going to be a no. Cancer is going to depend on when your treatments was done, where you are now with that whole process. But again, I'm going to really recommend it, calling 1-800-RED Cross. Talk to a professional about your specific situation.
Okay. Like this person said, I had hepatitis as a kid. Can I now give blood? Call that 1-800 number. You know, these are very specific questions. That nurse is going to go through and ask you like a whole battery of questions. It's not just like let me give you a question and they just have one answer. So you do need to do that, the 1-800 number. This person's asking, is there a waiting period after getting vaccinations before you donate?
In general, no. Usually what will happen then if you're deferred, it's because you're not feeling well because of the vaccination. Most of the time, most vaccinations do not have a waiting period between coming out and donating. However, if you're not feeling good for any reason, including a vaccination, we'd encourage you to come out to a different blood drive on another day.
Is there an age limit to giving blood?
There's actually not. We've had donors over the age of 100 donate before. What usually gets our older donors is going to be your medication. So if you're on a lot of medications, again, it's a good idea to call that 1-800 number.
And this person's asking, we got about a minute left, how important is it to be well hydrated before donating blood? Let's talk about hydration and maybe what you should eat.
Absolutely. It is really crucial to be hydrated. As I said earlier, that's going to help with your veins popping up. It's going to give an easier time for our technicians. And it's going to help make sure you feel as good as possible before, during, and after donations. That's a good time to also talk about food. This is not when you're giving a blood sample to the doctor. We want you to come on a full belly. If you're a little hungry when you get there, we got some snacks for you, but eat good. If you know you run low on iron, try to eat those iron-rich foods. Good steak, good leafy greens, those kind of things that can help build your iron up. If you run a little low, take about a 3 to 4 day high iron diet. most people will bring you up high enough to donate.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for your time and your expertise. And of course, we'll see you next Tuesday because we'll all be
Absolutely.
there. All right.
Thank you very much. Appreciate the time.
Remember, the holiday blood drive is next Tuesday at the Greensboro Coliseum complex. Right now,